Welcome to Monday's meditation, and this week's meditation is going to connect with the remedy of the BACH FLOWER REMEDY WILLOW, which is the remedy for those of us who feel self-pity and resentful. And hopefully after this meditation is over, you will be able to recognise whether or not you are feeling sorry for yourself in some way, shape or form. So I invite you now to just make yourself comfortable if you haven't already. Hopefully you have, because you knew you were going to be listening to this meditation. And I invite you to gently close your eyes, just to shut out the visual distractions surrounding you. And just for a moment, have a look inside your head. Imagine that you're like Casper the Friendly Ghost, and you can just float inside of your mind and have a look around. And what are you looking for? Well, you're looking for any hidden agenda that your automatic mind has. Is there anything it's holding on to, kind of tucked away in a corner? Maybe it's a mood, maybe something affected you earlier today or last week or last month, and you might discover it's still lingering there. Maybe your mind's really busy and you notice that it's filled with thoughts, worries, anxieties. Or perhaps you discover that your mind is blank, nothing there. Your automatic mind has switched off for a few minutes. Whatever you find is okay. You don't have to change anything. You're just noticing, so that you get an idea of where your starting point is today. Just really cutting yourself some slack. Whatever's going on for you is okay. And now I ask you to pay attention to your breath. Your breath is always there. It's always a way that you can anchor yourself in the present moment, because you can't take a breath for the future and you can't take a breath from the past. Each breath is like a new breath. It is a new breath. But imagine if it was the first time you ever felt your breath. Imagine that. Notice it. What do you notice about your breath? Perhaps you've never looked at it really before. Or perhaps you've looked at it many times but never thought. Imagine that this is the first breath. Each and every one is your first breath. And conversely, you could imagine that that breath was your last breath. How precious would it feel if that was the way you thought about it? So why don't we think about it that way all the time? It's our one breath. It's our one breath. It's our one breath. And it's what we need in that moment to sustain our lives. Lives that we may have resentments in. Things that don't suit us, that we think are unfair or that we deserve more. But we have this breath. Breathing in, we know we're breathing in. And breathing out, we know we're breathing out. We can take ourselves out of victim mode by remembering that we have this precious breath. I now invite you to join me on a little journey. Just let your higher self take over, or your imagination. And if you don't see in pictures, when your eyes are closed, you can just tell yourself the story. You can go along on the journey and just tell yourself what you're seeing, what you're feeling. And that's okay. Don't wish for it to be any other way than it is. This is your experience. You're listening to my voice. you're sitting or lying down, you're feeling your physical body connect with the surfaces, and you notice that one breath going in and going out. You can always bring your attention back to your breath at any point where your thoughts have dragged you away from the meditation, or just bring yourself gently back to my voice if it's sounding in your ears. But for now, I want you just to imagine that you are standing on the edge of a forest, and it's a very inviting forest, and it's full of fall colours with different trees. There's oranges and yellows and reds and greens. Magnificent forest, magnificent colours, and there's so many leaves just falling from the trees of all colours, shapes and sizes, and it's as if it's a snow fall, but it's a leaf fall. And you wander into the forest. It's very safe, it's very inviting, and it's warm. It may be warm because it's sunny, or it may be warm because the temperature's high, or it may be warm because you're well wrapped up in a coat and a scarf and a hat. Just be aware of, what your outer circumstances are. And as you go through the forest, you notice that there's an area that seems to be much brighter than the forest is, and you head for that. And it brings you to a huge area of cleared trees, except for one very, very large one, and it's a weeping willow tree. And it hasn't lost its leaves yet. They are turning yellow, but the leaves are still there. And it's a huge tree with long weeping branches. And you wander over to that tree and you go through its branches and head towards its trunk. How does it feel? How are you feeling? I'd like you to sit down with your back against that trunk. The ground is dry, or perhaps you found a chair that has a back against the trunk of the tree. Just allow your higher self to guide you. But you sit there under all those willow branches that are touching the ground. So it's like you're in a big tent, a willow tent. And your back is against the trunk of the willow tree. And you can feel its energy, its positive energy. And I want you to imagine that the willow tree's energy can enter through the crown of your head. It's going to start there, even though your back's pressed up against it. I want you to imagine that the energy of the willow tree is just gently washing down through your whole body, through your whole system, from the top of your head right down to your toes. And as that energy passes through you, it's going to take with it any negative thoughts, any resentments, any victim mode mentality that you have been experiencing. If you're not in victim mode, or poor me, or life's unfair, or there's nobody you feel resentful at, and you're not blaming outwardly, then just enjoy sitting and feeling that positive energy from the willow tree. But if you discover that there are things that you are blaming someone or something for, or that you are feeling a little bit sorry for yourself and that life hasn't dealt you the best hand, then allow this energy to just flow through you. Allow it to cleanse those resentments and bring in the feeling of being responsible for your own emotions, for your own life, knowing that you can take charge and you can take control, and there's no reason to feel like a victim. So I just want to leave you there just for a couple of minutes, and I want you just to sit quietly, and you can focus on your breath if you want to, just breathing in at the tip of your nose and breathing out there, or you can focus on your feet. And just imagine that the energy of the willow tree is flowing through you, through your head and your shoulders and your arms and your fingers, through your trunk, your hips, your pelvis, your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your feet. And it's washing out all those resentments into the earth to be transmuted into positive energy, so that it can be either given back to you or it can be given to someone else that needs it. So just for a couple of minutes, sit quietly, acknowledge any thoughts that come in, try and let them go as you allow this energy to bring cleansing of any resentments, any victim mode that's going on within you. As you sit with your back against the willow tree, your eyes are open in your visualization, staying closed in the meditation, but open in the visualization, and you can see the yellow leaves falling from the tree, from the limbs, and some of those leaves are falling on you. And with each leaf that falls on you, it's bringing its positive energy, the positive energy of taking responsibility for your life, for finding ways to make your life move forward in the way that you want to, finding ways to give to others rather than thinking that life is going to give you things without you taking any initiative in making them happen. So not having any expectations of life just being handed to us, but getting involved and making it happen for us. So just allow those yellow leaves to fall on you, as many as you need, on your shoulders, on your legs, on your head. Just allowing as many leaves as you need to fall on you, perhaps even fully covering you. You can still breathe, but you're covered in leaves perhaps. Feel that positive energy. Feel that sense of being able to ask the world for what you want rather than expecting it to give it to you. And just taking a deep breath in and releasing it. And taking another deep breath in and releasing it. And I want you just to feel your back against that willow tree one more time. And just to stand up and have a look around your willow tent. And just make your way through the branches again, out into that clear space. Looking up at the sky, looking out at the forest, being aware of the strength of the colours and that everything changes, and that the leaves don't care. You know, they don't care, it's the cycle of life for them. They give to the earth, and then the tree takes back from the earth. And we need to give to the world more than we need to take from the world. But if we give, it will come back in exactly the form that we need. So just heading back into the forest so that you can head back to your own space. Hopefully feeling a little bit lighter. Hopefully feeling more positive than you did when you started your meditation. And bringing your awareness back to your physical body now. Noticing your toes and wiggling them. Noticing your feet, your ankles, your lower legs, your right knee, your left knee, your hamstrings, your quads, your hips and your pelvis. Noticing your tummy with your next breath, see how it moves, or if it doesn't. Becoming aware of the expansion of your rib cage with your next breath. Noticing your spine running up the middle of your back, your shoulder blades and the space between them. Becoming aware of your shoulders. Hopefully they're feeling relaxed, letting them drop away from your ears. Noticing your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers and your thumbs, and the palms of your hands. Noticing where you've placed them, wiggling your fingers. Becoming aware of the back of your neck, the front of your neck. Noticing your chin, your jaw, your ears on the side of your head, imagining you can wiggle them and smiling. Noticing the top of your head, your forehead, your eyes behind your eyelids, your teeth and your tongue inside your mouth. Noticing your breath going in at the tip of your nose, feeling that clear, fresh breath going in, and noticing that quiet, peaceful breath as you breathe out. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in, and breathing out, you know you're breathing out. And just taking 2 or 3 deeper breaths than you have been. Opening your eyes when you're ready, and just allowing your eyes to come gently back to focus. Having a little drink. If you don't have one beside you, make sure you get one once you get up and wander to wherever you're wandering. And make sure that your feet are fully connected with the floor and that you're aware of them when you start to move around and join your day. Namaste.